Bred to Win, brought to you by Arrowfield, the home of four-time champion sire Snitzel.
Hello, I'm Searcy here at the magnificent Darley Kelvin site in the Hunter Valley of New South Wales, and welcome to a new series of Bred to Win as the first foals of a new generation begin to arrive around Australasia. Coming up in this series, we'll profile the new stallions, the sires with their first foals arriving in 2023, and proven stallions, as well as the brood mares, many of whom are household names. Coming up this week, we profile Australia's best horse of the past few years, 9-time Group 1 winner Anamoe here at Darley Stud, and new season yearlings for triple Group 1 winner Bivouac. Also another Darley product with a new home at Twin Hills Stud in southwestern New South Wales, the Blue Diamond Stakes winner Daumier, and a star mare in Arrowfield Stud's Horse Who Made You Love Racing. First though, let's catch up with the latest Oz Horse news.
Le Danseuse Rouge closing in sweet.
Midwinter racing may have been limited stakes-wise, but there were some fine performances for the future. Adelaide's listed Lightning Stakes went the way of Manhattan Rain filly La Danseuse Rouge from the Exceed and Excel mare Margot. Trained by Cliff Brown, she was bred by Blue Gum Farm and Imperial Bloodstock, while her sire Manhattan Rain stands at Giesel Park Stud in Victoria at a fee of $8,250 for the upcoming season.
And it's Hookham that's just in front. Westover is fighting back. They race up.
Overseas, the feature of the weekend was the time-honoured King George VI and Queen Elizabeth Stakes, won by Shadwell's 6-year-old Entire Hookham. The son of See the Stars held off last year's Irish Derby winner Westover in a thrilling duel to the line, with King of Steel, Emily Upjohn and Auguste Rodin in their wake. The Victorian Breeders' Awards saw Written Tycoon again crowned as champion Victorian stallion, the Yulong Farm sire, in particular boosted by the deeds of dual Group 1 winning daughter Coolamundra. Swettenham Stud's Sioux Nation was awarded the first season sire title. The son of Scat Daddy has already produced 6 winners from 10 runners from only 39 foals. Popular industry identity Mike Becker, well known for Independent Stallion Station and Stockwell Thoroughbreds, was presented with the Service to Industry Award, while Burnawang North's Emma Todd received the Rising Star Award. And once again, an English digital online auction has seen a mare sold for over $1 million, with dual group winner Jamea added to the burgeoning Yulong Farm broodmare band, bought at the late July sale for $1,025,000, destined for a date with their new stallion Diatonic this spring.
It's Cabalas and Estrella.
The English graduate of the week was Randwick 2-year-old winner Cabalas, as more 2-year-old success went the way of the Coolmore Syndicate, who also raced this year's Golden Slipper winner Shinzo. The colt by I Am Invincible from Calming Influence led in a Vinny trifecta, racing in the Ingham's Woppet Bloodstock colours. He was bought by Tom Magnier at the 2022 Inglis Easter Yearling sale for $1 million, offered by Beamer Thoroughbreds. His second dam, Calming, was a Liz Davenport Classic winner, and the colt's success added to the winners list for back-to-back champion Australian sire I Am Invincible. In early 2021, I remember Godolphin managing director Vin Cox mentioning a colt by Street Boss from the Group 1 winning mare Anamoe as one of their standout 2-year-olds for the season. Well, he was largely untapped at that time, but of course the rest, as they say, is history. As Anamoe, the colt went on to win an astonishing 9 Group 1s, and he's here at Darley Kelvin side in the Hunter Valley, where this season he joins a stellar roster of barnmates, including the triple Group 1 winner Bivouac, who has his first yearlings heading for the sales and beyond.
and the super stallion Anamoe races to the lead and kicked away.
He's a beautiful stallion, this horse, and he's a credit to his signer Sheikh Mohammed and his passion for racing horses around the world and his support of Australian racing.
And here he comes, Anamoe. He let loose in a stride.
Anamoe, this time for the big A.
Alistair, the Darley Stallion roster is exceptional. Of course, heading into spring, you have 17 stallions on the Australian roster, all of them Group 1 winners. It's quite a lineup.
It is an amazing lineup, one we're very proud of, one that's just studded with stars. We're very lucky that we get the opportunity to stand these stallions, elite stallions, elite racehorses from all over the world. We're very blessed to be able to offer them to breeders.
Well, we're going to look at one new boy, the absolute out-and-out champion, Anamoe, and we're also going to look at Bivouac, who was a triple Group 1 winner himself, a son of Exceed and Excel. And those two stallions, it's a little bit of chalk and cheese. Anamoe's the new boy here, and it's all very new for him. And Bivouac, he's letting down into almost a pea in the pod of his sire, Exceed and Excel.
Absolutely. Both wonderful racehorses for the Godolphin team in Australia. Anamoe, of course, is the most prolific Group 1 winner for Sheikh Mohammed and Godolphin worldwide with his 9 Group 1 wins. But Bivouac, going into his 3rd season, what a horse he was, and that's only a couple of seasons ago, but he was a dominant sprinter of his time.
Anamoe is coming at Forbes. They reach the line. Anamoe!
Starting with Anamoe, I mean, he was a pre-Christmas 2-year-old stakes winner, won the Merson Cooper. What was the talk about Anamoe before he embarked on that Sydney autumn campaign?
Well, he was such a good horse because you've got to remember he's a 16th of November foal, so he's not an early foal. He actually won the Merson Cooper on the 14th of November, so 2 days before he had officially turned 2. So he was just a naturally talented horse. To look at the horse, he doesn't look precocious. He's a beautiful, elegant, classy sort of horse, but he just had so much natural ability, and obviously that showed very early on in his career.
Well, in the elite 2-year-old races of that Sydney Autumn Carnival, of course, he won the Todman Stakes and he really had to dig deep there to hold off Home Affairs and Profiteer and stay inside. Of course, he reversed the positions in the Golden Slipper, but the way Anamoe raced from near last in that slipper was simply outstanding.
Absolutely. Well, he drew very wide in the slipper and came from a completely hopeless position, and he fully made amends for that in his next start in the sires, where he was absolutely dominant. He towed them up in the sires, and I think James McDonald said that was probably his most impressive win. He still remembers back to that because he was absolutely arrogant that day.
Anamoe and Captive on stride for stride. Anamoe the stronger. Anamoe won the Guineas from Captive on Artorias.
Take us through that day. How important do you think his early racing in Melbourne was to sort of helping him on that day? But either way, he still was the outstanding colt of his generation.
He knew his way around Caulfield well, and he was clearly the best 3-year-old, and Oliver rode him like the favourite, and he was just never not going to win, I don't think. I was very confident that day anyway.
But then the Cox Plate of 22.
We just knew how good a horse we had. There's not many 3-year-olds have been able to do it in a Cox Plate, and he was so close under difficult circumstances. So he lost nothing, certainly in our eyes, and I don't think in anyone's eyes that day.
But this is the best of Anamoe today.
He smashed him in the Rosehill Guineas. He was absolutely dominant that day. Cleared out from him, and you just thought, wow, what a good horse he is.
But that spring of 22, very few horses managed that streak of success. The Winks first up, the George Main, Caulfield Stakes, and then of course the Cox Plate.
That was reminiscent of the Winks campaign. He was just just from stepping stone to stepping stone to stepping stone. Weight for age, all the best horses lining up every second week against him, and he was the dominant one, and he was now truly a Group 1 weight for age star from 7 furlongs up to 10 furlongs.
Anamoe holding on. Anamoe this time for the big A. Won it from Oak Thunderstruck El Monagon.
Group 1 win, number 8 for the great Anamoe.
And the next autumn, of course, of this year, in 23, the Apollo into the Chipping Norton, and, you know, the race call and the champion horse winning and people being so happy about it. It creates such a big following for these horses.
It sure does, and Anamoe earned his own, has earned his own following. That's why we go to the races, to see these stars, and we were just so lucky to have Anamoe, continue his form and absolutely be the dominant weight for age horse as a 4-year-old. Actually, Paul Reed, who's assistant trainer at Osborne Park, he said Anamoe lifted the whole team. So Reedy put it down to the fact that everyone does their job just that much better because of a star like Anamoe. He's just got so much quality. So he's got that beautiful head, great length of rein. He's terrifically well balanced. He's got a lovely depth of girth. He stands over ground, but he's not too long. He's got a lovely hip, and he just is the best mover at efficient stride, whatever it happens to be. He's an ultimate elite thoroughbred.
Street Boss, can throw more at the sprinty, certainly early 2-year-old types. Anamoe, his dam by Redout's choice. She won the Australasian Oaks. So it's a really interesting matchup. He's going to be a very versatile stallion.
Plans are still being finalised, but and even in Godolphin, we're still finalising our plans. But mares like Guelph and Kiamichi and some really high-class mares are going to visit Anamoe in his first season. So he is going to get every opportunity from the breeders, and so he should.
Bivouac's off and gone though.
And Anamoe, of course, as we mentioned, is joining Bivouac, who's now had the 2 good books of mares already under his belt. And it's that wait and see time, isn't it, as they're heading off to the yearling sales in the next sale series?
Yeah, obviously exciting times for Bivouac. He's so much like his father. Almost career path he's like his father, because Exceed and Excel, he won the Group 2 Todman Stakes as a 2-year-old. Bivouac won the Group 3 Kindergarten Stakes. That was a really good win. That was on Sire's Produce Day at the Championships. And I remember Blake Shin got off Bivouac having won on him and said, this is a really, really good horse. He had just missed out on a run in the Golden Slipper. He was that class. He was certainly that class. He won the Vane first up by streets, by panels. Went to the Run to the Rose, won that, and won the Golden Rose, beating Yes, 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 who then went on to win an Everest. He was right up there as a sprinter in the spring, came back in the autumn, of course won a Newmarket, as his father did, and in dominant fashion, absolutely licked him that day.
Bivouac's won the Newmarket easily.
Unlike Exceed and Excel, he stayed in training. We kept him going because he's such a good-tempered horse. He's such an easy horse to get along with. So he came out at 4, and of course he won the Sprint Classic at Flemington, the weight for age Group 1 down the straight, and he smashed Nature Strip no less that day. And then he was rated the best sprinter in the world that year, the best in the world. So Nature Strip was behind him. Batage from England, the best of the English horses, was behind him. The Americans weren't there. He was world best. That says something about how good Bivouac was.
Such great Godolphin depth to this family.
It is. It's basically our foundation family, because Canny Miss and Camarina were among the first mares that Sheikh Mohammed invested in Australia, and we've really produced a dynasty out of those mares. His mother, Dazzler by More Than Ready, she won a couple of races, but she had a lot of ability. She didn't really get to show what she could do. Of course, the grandmother, Camarilla, bred by us but sold to the Inghams as a yearling, was a Group 1 winner herself, and by Elusive Quality, who's a really positive influence in pedigrees, a real fast influence, high quality. Of course, Canny Miss, the 4th dam, is the sister to Canny Lad, who's the broodmare sire of Redout's Choice, and I'm Invincible, so plenty of recommendations in terms of pedigree. Probably the best filly on the farm at Woodlands is the 3/4 sister to Cylinder by Bivouac. She's an outstanding filly. He's been very well supported by Godolphin with high quality mares, consistently nice horses. We've got lifetime breeding right holders in him, over 30 of them. The best breeders, the Yarraman Park, the Widdens, Sledmeres, Little Avondale and Cambridge from New Zealand. There's a raft of them that have all backed this horse because they knew how good he was. It's what we're about, is offering the best horses, and whether they've raced in the Northern Hemisphere or the Southern Hemisphere, that's what we want to do. Now, probably it's up to the horses to make themselves the stallions, but now their progeny have got to do it.
Two outstanding individuals, and can't wait to see their offspring hitting the racetrack in coming years. Don't go anywhere. Coming up after the break, on the return of Bred to Win, we head to Twin Hills Stud at Cootamundra to see the Blue Diamond Stakes winner, Daumier. This week, as we head towards spring, we thought we'd bring you the popular winter tour video from Cambridge Stud, featuring some famous racing names.
sort of the downtime a little bit. So doing a bit of repair and maintenance, tidying up the farm before the season starts to crank up again. So we've got the painters there just doing a bit of touch up on the barns. There's always plenty to do. You think, oh, once the season finishes, it's a little bit of downtime, but as we all know, the wheels don't stop turning, and there's always plenty of repair and maintenance to do. There's obviously, amongst that, we've got our yearlings coming back through the boxes. We've actually got a couple of high profile mares in the paddock here, which we call our queens, Probabile and Carmeless. This is Probabile. This is one of our, probably the most important mare on the farm. She commands a lot of attention, and she's going to be a mum, which is going to be exciting for everyone to see. She's in foal to Almanzor, so we're really pretty excited to see what she foals. And the one behind her is Carmeless, another important mare to us. She won the 1,000 guineas. She's in foal to Maurice, exciting young sire who stands at Arrowfield. We're looking forward to her foal as well. So yes, it's going to be an exciting breeding season with these two mares. Yeah, she hasn't lost her turn of foot. So now we've just entered the foaling unit. This is where Probabile, Carmeless and Amaralina will head towards. So we're looking forward to seeing them down here. This is a crop of Halium Zanes, which we've got in this paddock here. So we're pretty, yeah, some nice horses amongst these. So this one here, he's by Halium Zane. They have a mare called 7 Shillings. Just approaching the waterway. They started pre-planting all this about 4 years ago, and it's really got its taken off. It's really established now. And across there we've got a poo picker. He picks up all the poo, keeps the pastures nice and tidy. They've been a great asset, these poo pickers. They just freshen the paddocks up. We don't have to rest them for too long, especially during the season. They tidy up all the foaling unit for us. They pick up all the poo there. Everything's sort of ticking along quite nicely. Getting through a few of those winter jobs and preparing for the season, which doesn't take long to come round.
Darley Start has made a real art out of placing their stallions in new homes and seeing them reap instant rewards, and Daumier is on track to become another such success story. The son of Epaulette is domiciled at Olly and Amber Tait's Twin Hills stud at Cootamundra in southwestern New South Wales, where he's going to get every chance to make his own mark.
Daumier is the winner of the Blue Diamond Stakes.
Olly, it's wonderful to be here at Twin Hills Stud again at Cootamundra in New South Wales. Look at this green countryside. I think it's sort of the envy of a lot of parts of Australia that are so dry, and what a wonderful winter you've had.
Yeah, we're very lucky. Look, it's a lovely part of the world, and we've had a lot of rain through the autumn and into the beginning of the winter. So, as I said, we're very fortunate. Looking forward to a great spring. And
so exciting, of course, to have a new stallion. And we were just talking before in terms of, you know, the money people spend to get a Blue Diamond winner. Well, here he is, Daumier. What an exciting new stallion for Twin Hills.
Yeah, it's hugely exciting for us. To be able to stand a Blue Diamond winner is a rare opportunity. You know, fortunately, we've been given that opportunity. Obviously, we've bought the majority of the horse, but Godolphin have stayed in for a significant share in the horse, and we'll be supporting him with mares as well. So look, he was a very, very good 2-year-old. He's a very good-looking horse, and I think he can be a very good stallion.
Well, the thing with, I guess, Darley and the whole breeding operation, you know, they have so many stallions that it's great to get the opportunity to stand. You know, he's just a beautiful individual, as you said, and we'll go through his pedigree for people that might not know it. But, you know, the horses that have come through the Darley breeding operation, they go on and succeed.
Absolutely, like they're horses of the highest quality, and you look at his pedigree goes back for probably 30, 40 years of Inghams and Darley. So, you know, that there's a lot of quality at every step of the way, not only in the horses themselves, but the way they're reared, the way they're put into the great training system. And, you know, he was the beneficiary of that. A Blue Diamond winner at only his 3rd start, won his 1st start when he was, you know, barely 2 years old, because he was a 26th of November foal, and there he was winning the Blue Diamond preview. So, yeah, hugely exciting to have a horse of his talent and his race record to stand at Twin Hills. Blue Diamond Prelude, winning the Blue Diamond, Golden Slipper, Sire's Produce, all within a very short space of time, including a trip to Sydney, and running admirably in every race. You know, it wasn't just the Blue Diamond or the Preview. He ran third in the Prelude, fourth in the Slipper, fourth in the Sires. So every time he raced as a 2-year-old, he put his best foot forward, and that said a lot about his temperament.
Daumier's lifting, Revolutionary Miss and Anamoe coming as well.
Talking about that Blue Diamond, I mean, he beat Revolutionary Miss and Anamoe. When was he first on your radar? I mean, were you thinking this might be a horse we could have, or you're just sort of watching thinking, oh, that's a lovely Blue Diamond winner? Where does he sort of fit in?
Well, I suppose in answer to your question of when was he first on the radar, you look at it. We look at every horse that wins it. You know, we look at every horse that ever wins every big race and thinking, you know, what does that mean for us? Yep. Obviously, most of the time, it doesn't mean anything apart from enjoying watching them win it. When he won it, I thought he'd be an interesting one to keep an eye on, because obviously we'd love to stand a horse of that quality. And I then started talking to Vin Cox and put our case forward over time. And then, you know, a year after the Blue Diamond, effectively, we came to an agreement that he'd come to Twin Hills. So it didn't happen quickly, but he was a horse that I always liked. Obviously, I worked for Darley for a number of years. I was involved with Darley when Commands was purchased. Obviously, I was working for Darley when Epaulette raced. That's not necessarily relevant to how good a stallion he was, but he was a horse that I'd taken a particularly keen interest in. And interestingly, I think, like in mentioning Commands, there's a lot of Commands in the horse. He's sort of very compact horse. He's got his colour. You know, Epaulette, again, another lovely horse who got lots of good-looking horses, and Epaulette was a very good stallion. That's interesting when it comes to me sort of looking at the horse and identifying it and being enthusiastic about the horse, and all of that's very important. But, you know, his credentials are there for everyone to see. A Blue Diamond winner with a great pedigree, and he's a lovely looking horse. So,
you know, his dam illustrates, she's by Street Cry, from a Lonhro mare, Parables, as you said, the old Woodlands family. You know, she won the Surround and the Silver Shadow. Her dam Fairy Tales won the Toy Show. So it's a deep, deep page.
Absolutely, high quality stuff. You know, and he's out of a Street Cry mare, out of a Lonhro mare, out of a Night Shift mare. Yes. Great old Woodlands family. That's a terrific pedigree, really deep pedigree. And the mirror image of Epaulette, out of one of the great brood mares that's been in Australia, Accessories. The one word I'd use is sharp. You know, he's got short cannons. He's got a lovely strong shoulder. He's got a big hind quarter on him. He looks like the sort of horse who would have been a really good 2-year-old, and that's what he was. A lot of strength, compact quality. He's got a beautiful temperament. He's taken it all in his stride. Obviously, when the spring comes and he starts covering some mares, he'll take a new lease of life then. But no, he's been great. He's been here since March, but he's let down really well, and you know, he seems to enjoy his new environment.
Peltzer going through his gears, and he does it again. 5 out of 5 at Randwick.
And of course, Peltzer. I mean, he's just gorgeous. The son of So You Think, who's, you know, again done a fabulous job in the season just gone. Peltzer himself is that sort of more sprinty type of a So You Think, but there's still that, you know, going through the high chaparral, that quality is there. And watching him today, you know, he's putting on a performance. You know, he's really feeling that he's the man now.
Yeah, he's a magnificent horse. I still pinch myself, you know, to think we got him just at the right time. But to have a son of such a great stallion, who was such a good Peltzer was such a good 2-year-old, and you know, went on to be a high-class horse at 3. It bodes well for him. He's got a great opportunity. He's got some lovely foals on the ground. He's had some good sales results so far, so it all bodes well. Obviously, he's got to put it together now, in both in the yearling ring, in the yearling sale ring next year, and on the racetrack the season after that. But so far, so good.
And I just have to declare I have a little Peltzer filly, of course, that we'll do a story on further down the track. But the other Peltzer, you know, their foals, as we're filming them now, they're almost sort of, you know, turning 1. How are you seeing them across the board?
He stamps them insofar as they have his head and his hip, both of which are great. So, look, really pleased so far. They've got plenty of size, quite big foals, a lot of them, and athletic, but a lot of quality. He's not your typical So You Think. I think Peltzer himself probably has a fair bit of influence from Elusive Quality and Flying Spur, who is broodmare sire and second dam sire. So he's a horse with a lot of quality, and he's passing that on. So fingers crossed he can pass his racetrack performance on as well.
And it is such an exciting time. We're coming into spring again, of course, here at Twin Hills Stud. It's just a wonderful time, you know, to be involved in this industry, isn't it?
It is. Look, it's a continuous cycle. Doing what we do, we go from 6 months of horse sales into a breeding season, but that's great. Look, it's a wonderful industry. There's some lows, but there's plenty of highs. There's a thoroughbred language that's spoken right around the world, and it's very nice to be part of that.
This week's G1 Goldmine focus on Daumier shows he has plenty of speed in his pedigree, as you'd expect from a Blue Diamond winner, but there is versatility in there too. Looking at group winners with similar pedigrees, Scintillation, Cylinder and Latine, there's aptitude to get out to a mile, but the sweet spot is 1,200 metres. Epaulette's best nicks have been with General Nadim and the dam of Kalasa Pedant, while Street Cry combines well with Load, Stormcat and interestingly with Strawberry Road through South American pedigrees. Magnificent stallions there at one of Australia's great family-owned thoroughbred operations. Coming up after the break on Bred to Win, the star mare in Arrowfield Studs. Horsey made you love racing.
Oh, I think growing up Kingston Town was the one for me. He was a superstar, he could win over any distance, and he was trained by the great Tommy Smith and famous for not looking like he was going to win his third Cox Plate, but he did. More closer to hand, I think Scomeld, she won a Victorian Oaks, my grandfather bred her. And in more recent years, Grand Archway, I don't think people realise what a superstar mare she was. She not only won 2 Oaks, but she won over the short course as well. She won a Group 1 Ore, and I think she won a Group 1 Australia Stakes at Moonee Valley. So she backed up those Group 1 classic races with 2 serious sprint races. So she's a mare that was co-bred here with Lyndhurst and Barree in Victoria, and out of a mare called Mean Eyes that another interesting story, we thought we had her sold at Magic Millions, but she was bought by a drunk at the bar and he couldn't sign for her. And my father said, oh, we'll take her home and race her. And she ran third in the Magic Millions herself, Mean Eyes. So it's probably, it's from the family of Eyeliner, which has meant so much to the history of the farm. So yeah, to answer your question, I think in more recent years, Grand Archway, well, you're glued to the TV. It's a little bit like Skirt the Law, or will resume in a few weeks' time at Caulfield. It'll mean so much to Better Than Ready and the family if she can go on and become a serious player in the spring. The horses like Kingston Town and Winx and Black Caviar, they're the horses that the industry needs, and we all look forward to the next one as well, because it gets the young people to the races, it gets them interested in breeding, and it has us all glued to our TVs.
That's all for the return of Bred to Win for Series 2 in 2023. Don't miss next week's show as we bring you one of Queensland's great stallions of the modern era, Better Than Ready at Lyndhurst Stud. That and much more next week on Bred to Win. I'm Caroline Searcy. I look forward to seeing you then.
Bred to Win, brought to you by Arrowfield, the home of 4-time champion sire Snitzel.